Fearscape Media Network, exploring the unknown, one podcast at a time.
Something dark is here, flying in the skies, lurking in the woodlands, swimming in the rivers, and hiding under your bed. Join me, Mark L. Watson, and Fearscape Media as we delve into the paranormal, the occult, the spiritual, and the esoteric, and peer beyond the veil. Find us everywhere you get your podcasts or search for more information at fearscapemedia.com.
Ghosts in the Attics, Bodies in the Basements may contain graphic, violent, vulgar, or explicit content not suitable for all listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome back to Ghosts in the Attics, Bodies in the Basement, listeners. I'm Anna.
And I'm Lindsay. Come on inside.
All right. So, it's been a month, so we're going to do another listeners episode. Woo!
Also, our last episode was just real heavy.
Right? Maybe
let's lighten the mood a little.
Maybe this will make people want to come back.
We promise we won't cry this time.
Well, hopefully not. I'm cold reading these stories, so
same.
Hopefully it doesn't make you cry.
We're not going into this knowing we're going to cry this time.
Right? Which is always promising. What's new with you? What have you been up to?
Well, it is the end of summer, school starting back soon, but that also means mine and my daughter's birthdays.
Oh, that's so fun. I mean, I already knew
right?
that was coming up, but I mean, it's still exciting.
That listeners don't know. And my oldest is turning 10. Somehow she's in double digits. That makes me feel old, to be quite honest. It makes me feel older than my actual birthday coming. Makes me feel.
Right. I feel that because I've known her since she was 6 months old. So for those of you who don't know, when this episode comes out, Lindsay's birthday will have been the day before. So make sure to give us some love on social media and tell her happy birthday, or don't, and be jerks. It's whatever.
Fine. I didn't want to hear from you guys anyways.
I noticed on our analytics that we have 2 new countries since the last time we recorded. We have Israel and we have Brazil, which is what the fuck? It's so exciting.
Guys. We don't, I know I'm a broken record saying this, but I don't know people there. I don't know people in Israel or in Brazil or
I don't
the
know
Netherlands
anybody.
or anything. And so it's just so cool. And I think we got, last time I checked, I think we got 2 new states.
Heck yeah.
So just, I don't know who you all are, but thank you. Thank you for listening. And I'm glad that we're all friends now.
It means a lot to have you guys listen because, we could be screaming into the void, but I'm glad we're not.
Right. But still, disappointingly, all Earth.
All Earth. Damn aliens.
One of these days we'll get Pluto. You hear me, Pluto?
I mean it. Or Mars somewhere.
Plutonians. Is that what they're called? Plutonians.
Maybe.
There's an episode of Rick and Morty about that, where they're trying to convince everybody there's still a planet. Jerry's yeah, Pluto's a planet, and it's this huge government uprising or some shit. It's been a while since I've seen the episode, so I don't remember all the details.
That's so
I think
funny.
that's why I got Plutonians.
I've been watching The Prince on HBO Max, and it's ridiculous. It's so good, but it's so stupid. If you don't like adult humored cartoons, don't watch. But
I literally just brought up Rick and Morty, which we watch almost every night.
But if that's up your alley, check out The Prince on HBO Max. It's good stuff. Coming down the works after this episode will be our 13th episode, because this is number 12. And
if you all know anything about me, 13 is my all-time favorite number. Always has been. Friday the 13th is my day to shine.
Mine too.
I'm
I
excited.
love it. So we're gonna have something a little bit fun and spooktacular planned for that day. Or not day. Well, I mean day.
Episode.
It
would. How cool would it have been if it came out on a Friday the 13th? We wouldn't be so lucky though.
I wouldn't be mad about it, but
oh my god, it is a Friday the 13th next week.
Yeah, next week, Lindsay. Our episode doesn't come out next week.
I'm disappointed now.
We're just shy of it.
So excited, and you just shot me down.
Well, hey, maybe we could do a bonus episode. No promises, listeners. No promises.
But I just got so excited. How did I not notice?
I didn't know Friday the 13th was coming up that quick.
I usually know months in advance, and I usually pick up on the fact because there's a Friday the 13th anytime the month starts on a Sunday. But I guess because it's summer and everything blurs together, it didn't really click to me.
It hasn't
that the first was a Sunday. Like I literally just clicked my calendar just now and saw it and fucking screamed.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't know what day of the week it is half of the time because summer break has fucked up my brain.
Yes.
Although my kid goes back to school next week.
Same. I think they start the same day, don't they?
They do, and I'm not mad about it.
Right. That means
we can record and actual without any interruptions except for maybe the animals.
I know, because even the little one's going to be in half day pre-K. Like I'm going to be alone.
It's going to be weird. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself after having him go, mommy.
I'm just going to wish that I just know that I want to sit there and be like, man, I wish this was full day pre-K, but she's not quite old enough. That's just next year.
Right.
I'll take what I can get.
Prepared.
Yeah. It'll be good. It'll be good for everybody.
It will. You said that,
I'm going to go first just because I have a short and sweet little personal story to share.
Oh, okay.
It's just happened last week. I think we've already talked about summer blurs everything together. I don't know. But so, my friend Julie and I take our kids to the local pool, and, she has her daughter is like the same age as my 7-year-old. And you all know, I always say like I can have a whole show of just shit she says. And they're having some sort of conversation. I don't know. But suddenly her daughter says, Mom, are ghosts real? And she's like, what? Like, what do you mean? She's like, well, if we all have souls and like when we die, like, are ghosts real? And Julie's like, yeah, but they're nice, you know, like, and so after Julie says that they're nice, Nora says, well, mine are.
Oh no.
I'm like, you're what? She's like, my ghosts, they're right there. And it's one of those things. Is she playing make-believe? Or
let's hope she's playing make-believe and not just like seeing shit, because
especially like we're just out of the public pool and you're sitting there telling me you got ghosts behind you. Like what the fuck? And
right.
It was really funny. We like try to get the kids in their car seats and everything. And Julie just goes, there's your next podcast episode.
Right.
So I have to share it.
That's funny.
But also she and Landon had that conversation one of the times we were in Oklahoma. Do you remember?
No, but I'm not surprised. When we were at the
restaurant.
Oh yeah, no. Okay. So guys, we were at this restaurant when Lindsay came up in January for personal reasons, and we were trying to like have a lighthearted lunch because shit was heavy.
Yes.
And they're just sitting there, and at first they're like pointing and whispering and giggling, and it's so cute.
And it looks like they're in a deep conversation.
Yeah, until they're like, oh, he ran down the hallway. And I'm like, our waitress is in the hallway and she's a girl, but okay. And they're like, not the waitress. I was like, then who? They're like, the ghost man. And they were like describing him like he was dressed like an little old man. I was like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with this. Y'all need to knock it off.
Right? Like, oh. These kids, man.
They're creepy. My son the other day asked me, he goes, can you go to heaven? I was like, I mean, when you die, yeah, you can go to heaven when you die. He goes, and the other place I won't say because I don't want to get grounded from my tablet.
The other place.
And I was like, you mean the other H word? He goes, yeah, that's I thought it was the only H word. Wait, there's another H word? Like he got so curious about like adult language. I was like, heaven, hell, there's 2 H words for the afterlife.
You should just start calling it the good place and the bad place. This is the bad place. No.
Oh, I love that show so bad.
Me too.
So good.
I've avoided the last season though, because I don't want it to end.
Well, you should finish it so we could talk about it.
I should finish it because I love that show. It's one of my favorite shows ever, but I love Kristen Bell as it is.
It's so witty and so smart.
One of the best shows ever, and I don't want it to end.
All right. Well, enough gabbing at the moment. I'm sure you guys came here for listeners.
That was my story. Yeah. So now we can get into listeners.
we got distracted by us being us. So the reason you all came here today, a podcast. No, I'm kidding.
No.
My first story is from Carla, and she's from North Carolina. Hi, Carla. It says, here's my story. My computer froze. Sorry. I'm back. It says, since I was a young girl, I was experiencing things more often than not. My earliest memories of these things happened after my father passed away, roughly around the time I was 5 years old. Before then, I had an imaginary friend in my house back in California. I have no recollection of this friend. His name was Sipsy, but according to family, he was an older white male that played a very important and very, very lively part of my childhood. Not sure if he is a spirit or just legit imaginary person. So fast forward to 5-year-old me. I moved from California to North Carolina, and my aunt moved into my old house in California with her family. Long story short, they experienced a lot of activity there. They later moved out. Although I briefly encountered a lot of mysterious sounds after my father's passing, it quickly ceased until I was in middle school and I moved into a new home. I began seeing shadows, and by the time I was in high school, I had my very first and honestly, probably, I'm sorry, I'm not good at reading out loud, people. I apologize. Probably my own legit sleeping paralysis. During this paralysis, I saw a man holding me down by the wrists of my hands, and I could feel his anger. He had so much anger towards me. Oh, no, I don't like this. I don't like this.
No, I got chills.
Growing up, I always told myself, oh, it's just dad. He just so I wouldn't freak myself out. Anyway, my sister, who is 11 years older than me, has also experienced a lot, and truthfully is probably the only one in the family who believed me. Truth be told, I feel like my entire family has gone through something paranormal, as well as my mother, in our homes. I have touched and pushed. I've had my nephew's window open at 4 a.m. even. It says, lately things have died down. I don't pay them much mind as I did in the past. Years ago, I started going to sleep every time I noticed it and slowly began to just stop. I still hear things every once in a while or notice a shadow. I don't like any of that. That's creepy. I don't like the fact that a 4-year-old's window's open in the middle of the night. For one, he could get kidnapped. For two, he could fall out and die. Like, there's so many things.
There's so many levels here.
Like, did he open the window? Did the spirit open the window? I don't know. I don't
know.
There's so much to unpack. Like the holding her down and like by her wrist with all that anger. Like, I don't like that.
Hate it. I get chills just when you just saying that little sentence. I got chills again.
Yeah, it's kind of unnerving, to be perfectly honest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you from North Carolina. We appreciate you listening and sending us a story. All right, Lindsay, it's your turn. What do you got for me?
All right, this story is sent in from Corey in Kentucky.
Okay.
It says, in 2013 or 2014, my best friend and I were in Kerwin Towers, a dorm at the University of Kentucky. When we moved in, there was dust about 2 inches thick everywhere. We were placed there as a last resort spot because we had to be moved from another dorm. One night we were laying in our beds watching TV and it started changing channels. We looked at each other and didn't say anything, but looked at the floor where our remote was between us. We turned it off. That was one of the first things that happened. Once my radio turned on and it wasn't even plugged into the wall. The hand motion paper towel dispenser in the bathrooms would go off when I was in there alone. And the 2 shelves above our beds had carved names, Nick on my side and Clay on hers. We were asleep one night and I woke up to my friend gasping for air. I ran to her and she said she woke up but couldn't move her body and a loud roaring was in her ears. She was terrified and crying. Many other things happened in this room. Later, we found out the floor used to be a boys' floor and 2 boys fell out of the window, of our window. So like of their dorm room. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Afterwards, when we moved into an apartment together, our hauntings from Nick and Clay joined us, but died off once we had our own places. Maybe they were obsessed with us as a pair. I don't know. Hell, we may never know. But also, okay, first of all, terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Second of all, that triggered a memory in me about my haunted dorm room.
Oh, yeah. I remember you saying that it was haunted.
I did not go to UK. I went to EKU, which is Eastern Kentucky University. And my best friend at the time and I, like, we were roommates, and shit always happened. Like, first of all, one of her shoes disappeared. And even when we moved out at the end of the year, it never showed up.
Oh, no, that's so weird.
Gone. We would wake up with like matching tiny little scratches, not like anything like super alarming, but like we would have them in the same place, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then I remember one day in particular, I was sitting on my bed, probably doing homework. She was in class. So I'm sitting there completely alone. And important to note, our room was at the very end of the hallway. So on our wall, where we had like our sink and our closets was just like exterior wall. There was nothing on that side.
Oh, weird.
I was sitting there doing my homework, and I heard like a closet door slide, and I turned and looked, and my closet door had moved. I jumped up and ran out of my room, like grabbed my key, went down the hallway to the bathroom. Like, nope. And but like I brought up the exterior wall because like, it's not like somebody shut their closet and it vibrated my closet and made it move or something. Like there was nothing over there.
Right. That's so weird.
So yeah, thanks Corey for triggering that memory.
Right.
Ugh.
Oh, that's
dorm rooms are scary. I have more dorm stories, but I won't take up the whole episode telling them.
Right. All right. This one's a short one. This is from Heather J. Thanks for writing in, Heather. It says, my new home is 105 years old. The day we looked at it, I had a very peaceful feeling come over me, even in the cobweb-filled basement, until I came to the rear stairs. I see figures when I walk past rooms, and either at the top of the stairs or at the bottom. I have heard voices, but nothing scary, just unnerving. After we moved in, our dog refused to go to the rear stairs, and we still have not used them. 3 months after we moved in, I fell down those stairs twice in 1 month. Since then, my husband and 2 children have also fallen down them. Holy crap. It says, we didn't feel a push or anything. It was just the step just disappeared. Needless to say, I avoid them. Crazy. Yeah, Heather, that is crazy. I would be so freaked out.
Like blocking off that staircase, never going near it.
I would be calling somebody on from HGTV to come fix that house. Be like, who wants to renovate my farmhouse or Victorian house or whatever style it's in?
But that would potentially make things worse because a lot of times doing like renovations and shit stirs up activity.
Yes, but if they remove the stairs, at least they won't fall down and die. Potentially. Although
that's so freaky. I wonder what's causing it.
I don't know. Like for all of the people in her household to fall down the same stairs.
And based off of the description saying like it's like the stair just disappeared, it makes me think maybe it's around the same spot on the staircase, or it actually would be even weirder if it's not the same spot in the staircase, because then you can't just be like, oh well, that stair is warped.
Right. It's just so bizarre.
It's all around. I don't like it. And this is why, even though I could talk to you all day long about how new builds can be haunted because the earth is old. Yeah. Whether the house is new, like the earth is still old. Yeah. I feel like it's at least a little less likely to be haunted when it's a new build, as I live in a new build and have ghostly experiences, but that's for another day.
Right. It's so weird though, because people are like, oh, it can't be haunted. It's brand new. Yeah. But the land has been here since the
I grew up in I think on our last listener story, I shared my mom's story, and like my mom lives in a new build. She is the only person who has ever owned that house. And to this day, she still has ghostly experiences.
Oh, how weird. Yeah.
Like we had them growing up. They still happen today. Like, and she's the only one who's ever owned that house. But guess what? The land's not new.
Right.
Like you can't have just new earth. That's not how planets work.
Yeah. That's so bizarre.
Yeah. So I have another. Yours was from a Heather?
Mine was from a Heather.
Mine is also from a Heather, but a Heather H.
Okay.
So there we go. It says, I'm Heather from Kentucky, and this is a true story that still gives me a weird feeling when I think about it. When my husband was 19, he lived in an old plantation house on Tuckahoe Road Road in Mason County, Kentucky. In front of the house was a well, and about half a mile behind the house was the family cemetery.
Oh,
I'm gonna
no.
just pause right there.
Family
and
cemetery?
say,
No.
right. Like, we already know this is the start of a horror movie from that sentence alone. You got a well in the front and a family cemetery in the back.
Yeah, it's never a good sign.
So back in. Says, my first time there was a very hot day. He was showing me around the inside of the house, and it was very cold, which I thought was strange. We went down into the coal cellar, and there were chains hanging from the wall where they once kept their slaves that had gotten in trouble many generations ago. Oh, yeah, she said it was a plantation house. That's heartbreaking.
Oh, that is.
I bet that was heavy.
Yeah.
This is where the crazy started. After we left the cellar, he went to show me the cemetery. Imagine a hot, dry day, no wind blowing. As we walked closer to the cemetery, the wind began to pick up and it started to cool off. Oh, got chills. By the time we got there, the wind had picked up a lot, and I swear I could hear all those chains off in the distance. Also, there was a headstone that said children had fallen in the well, and this memorialized them.
Oh, no. That's
Eventually, the wind blew so much that we left. Each time I went out there, something strange would happen. I've always thought it was just me until I ran into another person that lived in that house and that had stories of their own. A few years back, they tore the house down and built a new one. Till this day, when we go riding the back roads, I think about that house, and it still gives me chills when we drive by the property.
Man,
there's just so much heaviness there between
the lost souls of the
slaves, and then children who have fallen in the well. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. Yeah, I'm sure you did have a lot of weird experiences there. That's some heavy energy.
And then all the people that are in the family cemetery, I would not want to live there. No, I'm good.
But it's good that they tore down the house, of honoring plantations.
Yeah. I'm glad that it's no longer standing, but
that's so sad.
Still, the land is going to be.
I feel like I would be haunted just from seeing the chains alone. Like, not like literally haunted by a ghost, but like emotionally haunted, seeing actual chains.
Well, and the thing of it is, like, just because they tore down the property, like what was on the property doesn't mean that the property itself isn't going to remain haunted, because I mean,
for sure. We just said that
energy doesn't go where. Yeah, the energy has to be somewhere.
I just meant it's good that like the house is torn down, because then like it's not like, oh, look at this beautiful house, slaves built it.
Right.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And it's just like, but let their souls rest type of deal.
Right. Maybe all of their souls can be at rest, but since the house is torn down, hopefully it didn't make it worse.
Yeah. Thank you, Heather. That was a good story.
All right. This one comes to us from Eric H. from Kentucky. All right. Well, thank you, Kentucky, for showing up today.
I know, right?
It says, hello, my name is Eric. This is the first time I've shared this in public. Ooh, well, thank you. I have only told my story to one other person. It isn't all that scary, but it's true. At my house that I lived in, 3 people had previously passed away. In that house, 2 of them died in their sleep of old age, but the other one was shot and murdered. Every night I could hear footsteps in the hallway, and I always felt I was being watched in certain areas of the house, but mainly in the hallway, at the entrance to the hallway. In my bedroom, which was the first room by the entrance to the hallway, I always felt I needed to have the door shut, because if I didn't, I would get claustrophobic and it would get really bad, like really bad dread, like I was in danger. I also never opened my door to my closet during the night unless I absolutely had to, which luckily never happened too often. The person I told was my friend, and he told me to turn on some type of old tech, and if there is a ghost, it'll mess with it. I really didn't believe it, but I tried anyway. I had one of those huge CD players from the late 90s, and I turned it on and said something like, if there's something here, turn this off before I get back this evening. Well, I got back that evening and it was turned off, which got me thinking that there may have been a timer or something on it that turned it off. So that next morning I tested again, but backwards. This time I left it off and said, this time I'm asking you to turn it on by this evening. And it was on when I checked it was on when I got back that evening. So by now I'm convinced, so tired, and I tried it again. I'm going to leave this plugged in, and if you want to, unplug it. And that evening it was unplugged.
Mm.
Then I said, okay, this is the last test. I'm leaving it unplugged again. I want you to plug it back in. That evening when I checked, it was plugged in. By then I was genuinely scared because I was thinking, if it can do all this, it could kill me or something. It says, another time I was on the computer in the same room and I had this eerie feeling and I saw something out of the corner of my eye. So I looked in the hallway. Standing there was some old guy I had never seen in my life. And he was slowly walking down the hallway with an old style cane. And he slowly walked down the hallway looking at me.
Oh.
Through the entire experience, I could even hear his footsteps. I sat there frozen, not knowing what to do, and I waited for what seemed like forever. The entire experience, I could even hear his footsteps. I sat there frozen, not knowing what to do, and I waited for what seemed like forever to see if he or it was gone. I got up and looked back and forth down the hallway, and I never saw it again. Later, I asked my mom about the old guy who passed away in the house, and she didn't know much about him. But I've always wanted to investigate to see if who I saw was the older gentleman that passed away in that house. Hopefully one day I'll have an answer. Well, damn. Thank you, Eric, for giving me nightmare fuel for tonight.
Yeah. And a couple of things that made me think of. First of all, old man walking down the hallway makes me think of the bowler hat man from Haunting of Hill House.
Yes.
Second of all, the whole like, oh, well, if you're really here, plug this in, unplug this, turn this on, turn this off, like that kind of stuff. First of all, yeah, terrifying because like, but does that mean they can do something physically to us? Because the whole thing is like, well, they can't really hurt you.
Well, you always hear theories that it takes so much energy.
Sorry, Nora just walked up and tapped on my shoulder. I didn't know she was in here.
Oh my gosh.
We're telling ghost stories. Sorry, go on.
Okay. Yeah, well, you always hear that it takes so much energy to turn on a light even, or to make static on a TV or a radio. So
yes, exactly.
For it to be able to unplug and replug and turn on and turn off and do all this magic shit, like I would be scared too. And also, not discounting your experience at all, but that's the type of shit that I would do to my brother just to fuck with him if I was in this type of situation, because I was a prankster and my son gets his shit from me and it's very annoying.
Well, you get it honest though. We all remember the story you told about Janice.
Yeah, I mean, right? It's genetic.
Also, talking about like taking so much energy and stuff. Do you think ghosts just get annoyed with us?
Probably. I mean, I get annoyed with myself.
I remember seeing a video of like a woman who like, she doesn't call herself a medium. What would the word be? I guess just like sensitive or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe like where she's like, oh, I'm not medium level or whatever. But she was saying that a lot of the times, or at least maybe her theory, or maybe it's legit and somebody else can tell me, that the reason like on EVPs and stuff, their voices sound scary is because it takes so much energy that like, it just kind of like comes out that way.
Right.
Like, or like that's like the frequency they can hit with the energy. Which is really sad. Like, imagine being like a sweet, innocent soul and just like, yes, I'm here.
Right.
I remember it takes so much energy. They're probably like, God, I can't fucking do this again, making me plug this shit in.
I seen a meme that had me rolling. It was like you sitting there telling a story about the ghost pulling pranks in your house, like type shit. And the meme said, it had the people on top and the ghost on the bottom. Was like, I never fucking said that. Like, I never did that. Like, cracked me up.
Motherfuckers. No.
Like, it made me laugh so hard. I was like, dead. Not really.
You just made me think of that meme.
That's
like not really the same thing at all, but you said, but like it's another like little comic meme with ghosts or whatever, where it's showing a ghost reading all these books about like how to be a ghost and how to haunt people. And he's like, I just can't do it. And he's throwing the books, and then it shows the people whose house it is with books just flying across the room, and they're like hugging each other, terrified.
That's fantastic. I love memes. I do.
Yes.
And since that kind of wraps up our listener stories, let's get into some more jabber, because I have a couple things I want to say before we officially sign off.
Yeah, same.
Going back to, what were you just saying? Oh my God, ADD brain.
We're talking about the comic with the ghosts throwing books.
Right. So going back to that, like my son's really into like painting and stuff lately, and he paints some of the weirdest shit. Like, not like he's not talented, just like creepy stuff. I don't know what is, and like he's like, this is a dead person. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh,
I told him, I was like, we can't keep that one for the fridge, bud. Like, no, let's not. Like, he's such a weird, and he's so curious, and he's so scatterbrained, and like he'll be doing something, and then like he'll be really weird and off, and then 2 seconds later he's like, boop, 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 doo. It's like, are you okay? I mean, you're not, because you're mine.
No.
It's like, you're mine. You're probably not okay, but like, are you okay? Are you good? Me and Lindsay have an episode coming out shortly about it's going to be a bonus episode, and we're going to be talking about our book club, and we're going to be reviewing our first book, and we're going to tell you here. Our very first book is A Simple Favor.
I've only seen the movie.
And I just started listening to the book. And let me pull
I have
up
not started
Audible.
it yet because I'm trying to finish the book I'm on. I've been reading The Luminous Dead.
Right.
Which is a book that was recommended to me by a friend. Shout out to Kelly if you're listening.
Yes.
And I have 2 hours left in it, and then I'm starting A Simple Favor.
I'm on chapter 10 of A Simple Favor. I have 7 hours and 20 minutes left, but that's okay. A Simple Favor is written by Darcy Bell. It's been adapted into a movie. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to the book and then rewatch the movie and see how fucking inaccurate it is, and see how pissed off we can get.
What platform is the movie on? I don't remember how I watched it before.
I watched it in theaters and I liked it so much I bought it on DVD instead of watching it on like Netflix or something. I'm sure we can find out where you can watch it at.
Apparently it's only $3.99 on Vudu.
Oh, that's not terrible. I bought the DVD.
Is that to rent or to buy?
I loved it. Oh, hopefully to buy. That would be dope.
If it's to buy, I'll spend the $3.99. But if it's to rent it, it's like, I'll find it somewhere.
Right. Watch a movie. You can watch it on all platforms for $3.99, pretty much. YouTube, Google, Apple, $3.99. Yeah, I don't know. It's Amazon Prime, all those things. You can watch it for $3.99. So yay. But yeah, that's going to be our first book. So we will be discussing our opinions on the book and the movie and how they differ.
I remember enjoying the movie. It's been what year did that movie come out?
Oh, Kristen still lived here, so like 3 years ago. Ish.
2018.
Yeah. It's been a minute, but it was good. Yeah. It was so good that I bought it. I never do that unless they're like old movies.
Right.
But so we'll be doing that.
Hocus Pocus for $5. Yes, please.
Right. I like the $3 movies because like sometimes you get like hidden gems.
Yes.
I'm still looking for a Troll in Central Park. If anybody knows where to find that.
Oh, I have that movie. Actually, I got it off Best Buy.
Nice.
A couple of years ago. They had like a movie sale. I got like Troll in Central Park, Mighty Joe Young.
Oh, like, yes. So many good movies.
And then of course now our DVD player, like it crapped out. It's a couple years old, and you all know how technology is. Right. A couple years is a lifetime.
Yeah.
So now I have no way to watch said DVDs other than in my car, which of course the kids watch it.
Right. Hey, whatever keeps them occupied while you drive.
Oh, it's a constant cycle of Frozen 2 and Moana.
Oh yeah,
in my van. Yeah.
Going back to our second note before we leave, we have new merch in our merch store. If you didn't know,
I was excited to talk about that.
Yeah, if you didn't know, we have a merch store, guys. It's on redbubble.com. It will be in the show notes, and it's also on our link tree on all of our social platforms. I
believe it's in the description of all of our episodes.
Yes.
So like even if like sometime in the future you're listening to a future episode and you're like, oh, what was that store? Like the link will be in the description.
Yes. And if you are local to the Shawnee, Oklahoma area, do not forget that we have a special code word to shop at Mainstream Boutique of Shawnee. It's GAB. GABB. So just go in and tell Kim or whoever's working that day, be like, I listened to Ghosts in the Attic, Spies in the Basement. I'd like to use the promo code GAB, and you get percentage off. What did we determine it was? 10% off.
10% off of full price items.
Full price items. So yeah, it's a really good deal.
Which is awesome. Shout out to Kim for allowing that.
That's
an honor.
It's my favorite store. I buy literally like 95% of the stuff I own.
And I know
from
y'all
that store.
can't see us, but Anna always looks really cute.
I try. The clothes I'm wearing in our promo pictures that we took the last time I was in Texas is from that store, except for the hat.
And the logo shirts are
the logo shirts were personally made by a local t-shirt store.
You can get the same designs on our merch store.
They're now available. And also we have two new designs?
Yes, it's 2 new designs. So now we have a total of 4 designs. There's our logo that you see on every episode where it's the little haunted house and the ghosts and whatnot, designed by my sister Laura Ramsey. Shout out to her. Also, her birthday is, we talked about my birthday and my daughter's birthday. Her birthday is the same day as my daughter's birthday. So happy birthday, Laura. But also she designed that logo, so you can get that logo shirt, and then you can also have if you saw in our promo pics, we have like the heart skeleton hands with the show name in the center. You can get that design as well. And then there's 2 new designs that Anna designed herself. They're super adorable, including we told you guys we needed to make merch of it because we sew it. No,
we say it.
We say it so damn much.
Yes, we say it way too often. And I literally while
it's the actual sound wave. Yeah.
Took a clip of the sound wave and just drew it on Procreate and made it jazzy. And
I'm not joking when I think I said it before. And if I didn't, whatever, pretend I did. I wasn't joking when I said I can now recognize when I'm editing an episode, I can recognize, oh, there's us saying, but
Yep, I do that too. I'm like, there's an there's a and, there's a
sometimes it's fine, it's normal in conversation, but
and then sometimes
other
it's
times
just what is that called? TikTok told me it was called clustering, where you can't keep up with your thoughts and you put words together and you say and but a lot. It's clustering.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, it was TikTok's fault. It's not mine.
There's another thing that makes me realize, you probably have undiagnosed ADHD. I should do something about that.
Is there any other little bits of housekeeping that you wanted to bring up before we get off today?
I think the only thing I was really thinking about was the merch store and the book club. Going back to the book club, if you guys, we said we were going to do an episode, but if you all want to get more interactive, I know a couple of people have expressed interest.
It's on Goodreads. I fucked up and didn't say that.
Yeah, I forgot.
Our Goodreads. It's in our link tree. So if you want to find it easily, it's in link tree.
We can also link it in this episode specifically.
Yeah.
Say our Goodreads link. I'd forgotten about that too. So I'm glad that triggered your memory.
Yes.
Because that's important. Then it can be a little bit more interactive.
Yes.
We need a little bit more interactive other than just hearing us talking about a book. And you're like, well, why did I even read it when you all are just going to talk about it and I can't interact? So come interact with us. We basically beg you guys every episode to interact with us.
And we have had some really great interaction. Brittany.
Yes, we have.
A listener named Brittany, who's a good friend of Lindsay's and a good acquaintance of mine, is the one who suggested that we actually do a book club. So thank you to Brittany. We have a book club now.
That's such a great idea.
It is. And she's like, you're already reading together. Why don't we all read together? I was like, why don't we all read together?
Let's all read together.
That's so smart. I encourage reading as a writer. I encourage people to read because if no one reads, no one will ever know I have books out. Oh, goodness. Speaking of books, me and Lindsay are currently working on a very heavy topic project that we will not be promoting on the show. But if you get curious in September, October, Amazon's a thing. You could just Google it.
And it is a nonfiction book.
And for the first time ever.
Oh, I have one that's half and half.
Oh, yeah. You have your poetry book. I forgot.
Yeah.
It's kind of still new.
Ironically, the ones that people ask me about in my poetry book, they're like, oh my gosh, what's the story there? I'm like, oh, I made it up. there are things based off of true events in my life. There are journal entries, but then there's also fiction. But yeah, this is our first fully nonfiction book. It is a very vulnerable book, but it's a very important book. And we might maybe briefly mention it just because we want to get the message out there, raise awareness. Yeah.
But since it's not done yet, we're going to be kind of vague about it. But just know that if you are a fan of our writing, we have something coming down the pipeline within the next few months is when we hope to release it.
And I promise you all at the beginning of the episode, we wouldn't cry in this, and we're not going to.
No.
But just know that when you read that book, you will cry.
Yeah. And
We're just going to be straight out honest with you. It's not a fun book.
It's a heavy, it's about how my daughter died. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. And the effect it has on
the ripple effect it has on everyone
dealing with loss and grief. And yeah.
And so it's
an important book. So I'm excited in that sense, but it's the first time I've been just absolutely not excited, if that makes sense.
Same. And I've never been this okay. Like it's like I'm sharing my fucking diary with the world. So it's like
literally the things that I sent Anna to put into it were my diary entries. Well, on my phone,
on your phone,
still
it still
that
counts.
I wrote in the middle of the night, bawling my eyes out.
Yeah. I have spent many a nights crying writing the entries to this book. And so just know that it's not like Lost in Gray or Twisted or Paranormal-ish
or even Exercising My Mind, which does deal with heavy topics, but not the same thing. It's more like, hey, you're going through something. This is your brain processing going through just like ordinary bad shit.
Yeah, like
versus
life.
Loss.
Yeah, life is heavy. Life plus loss is incredibly heavy sometimes.
Yes.
Just so you know, listeners, if you are in any kind of dark space, and you need someone to talk to and you don't have anyone that you can trust us. Like you can slide into our DMs and we won't tell a fucking soul.
If you all haven't noticed from previous episodes, we are very big on mental health awareness and
absolutely.
And even to the extent y'all heard me, I don't have diagnoses. I'm too scared to go to the doctor and get them. But
I have all of the diagnoses. I have all of them.
So even if you're not diagnosed, don't be like, oh, well, a doctor's never told me I'm depressed. So that's not what this is. I'm just having a bad day or some shit like that. No, you can still come to us. You deserve help. You deserve happiness.
Yes. But we're going to get to getting before we make y'all be like, why the fuck do we listen to you guys?
We're going down into darkness now. So we're going to stop this because we promised no tears this week. Right. We said light episode and here we are.
Well, I just wanted to mention that because I have had people reach out to me asking like, I heard you're writing a book.
Are you doing this? What is it?
Yeah. And so just in case you're fucking curious, there is something. It's about grief and loss. And if you're just listening to us for the first time, we're not always this weird. Yeah, we are. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we are. Don't lie.
I'm sorry.
If there's anything, we said this on a regular video chat the other day, and I just feel like it's worth noting, especially given that my birthday is coming up. We no longer care that we're weird. We don't really care if it bothers you. We've spent too much of our lives trying to like be quiet, be the people pleasers, all that. And then now that we're in our 30s, like, fuck it. This is me. And
I'm at that point where my daughter died and I wasn't even 32 yet. And it's like, well, if I didn't think life could get any worse, what's the worst thing that's going to happen if I speak my fucking opinion?
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. If I'm offensive, if I'm wrong, I will be the first to apologize. I have no problem with that. I'm not saying I'm above that, but I'm saying that I'm above people's expectations of me.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I'm talking like on every level, all the way down. This is so insignificant, but also not. I have a hair appointment today and
she better get that hair right.
And I keep going, I'm going to get the haircut that I've wanted for fucking years. For some reason, you all know how it is when you go get a haircut and the hairdresser just kind of does their own thing. And you're
every
like,
time,
I love it. And then you go home like, oh, man, this isn't what I asked for.
Do you know why? Because it's witchcraft. They do curls or something. And then they
make it look really good.
They make it look excellent, which you could never do yourself at home. I mean, maybe you can. I definitely fucking can't repeat what they do. And it's just like, oh, this looks what happened? As soon as you wash it, you're just like devastated. Yeah.
Like the last time I got my haircut, at the time I'm like, oh yeah, it looks great. But like there was that disappointment where I was like, I straight out asked, I want fucking bangs. And it's not like the meme of the girl in the bathroom having a mental breakdown, cutting bangs. I've had bangs before and I like them. And I was asked, why do you want bangs? Like what's going on? I was like, I just want bangs. And she didn't give them to me. Well, she did, but they were like weird backwards curtain bangs. I don't know. I know curtain bangs are in, but they just now 8 months after the haircut look like curtain bangs.
Right. Which is so disappointing.
So I'm like, it's one of those things, like I said, it sounds so insignificant, but it's one of those things where it's like, no, I'm turning fucking 31. I'm allowed to get my hair cut the way I want to fucking get my hair cut. And now when I'm in the chair, if they fuck up my hair, I might just be like, thanks, I love it. Because it's different being in the moment.
I have done that so many times.
Like I have my reference photos ready. Like, this is what I want. I want this look, not too short, like all that. And so all of that to say, we are this weird. We want to say this weird, and this is us, and get over it.
Weird is
we keep
awesome.
Getting more countries, so apparently somebody likes it.
Yeah, weird is awesome. And like, facts. If you're not weird, if you're like normal, I commend you, because I don't think I'm ever going to be normal. But you know what? I've never tried to be normal. It's just like, I like to do my own thing.
I've never tried to be normal, more so, well, I mean, maybe like in like middle school, trying to like fit in or whatever, more so like I just keep my other shit just like quiet.
Yeah.
When now it's like, no, this is the things I like. These are my
boundaries. This is my expectations of our friendship.
I'm not going to accept you talking to me like that. Like, it's a whole thing. Turning into our 30s has helped us just really come into our own. And we always joke when we like look at pictures of ourselves that we just age like fine wine, but it's true. And it's more than just our looks. It's like everything about us. We're just better now. And I think it's
the confidence that we've somehow unmasked in ourselves has started to show. And I think that's what makes us look better. If that makes sense.
I do feel, like that. And like, I do feel that the things that we went through this year, and even leading up to January, and I don't even mean just like COVID, like it's like COVID changed everybody, right?
Right.
But like, I just mean like our personal experiences from the last year to 2 years, maybe, has really made us be like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah. Chuck it in the fuck it bucket, because that's where all my problems go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's our tirade for the afternoon.
Yes. And now I have to actually go to that hair appointment.
Right. Well, we will let Lindsay get to her hair appointment, and we will let you get on to your regularly planned lives.
You're probably like, oh, thank God. Well, I thought we were talking about ghosts.
We were.
Now we're talking about the ghosts of our personality past. I don't know. That was weird. I was trying to come up with something witty and it just didn't make it.
It happens to me 24/7. All right, listeners. Until next time, stay spooky. Bye. Hello.
Hey, Anna. Is that a new outfit? You look super cute.
It is. I just went to this really cute store in town called Mainstream Boutique.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a really awesome store. It's like my little hidden secret. It's locally owned by a really wonderful woman named Kim. She's the kindest, most genuine person I've ever met. It's a women's retail boutique that offers a unique selection of clothes and apparel and accessories for all generations. So teenagers to 20 and up. It's magic. I mean, we've talked for years about what do we wear? I don't know what to wear at this age. I don't want to look like a teenager. This store is the store that has changed my outlook on how I appear as an adult.
Oh, that's so cool. You said it's a local store?
Yeah, it's local to Shawnee, Oklahoma, but they do ship.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to get on that website. What's their website?
Their website is mainstreamboutique.com. They also have a Facebook page, which is Mainstream Boutique of Shawnee. They're a apparel and accessories for multi-generations. Their mission, which I really stand behind, is to empower, strengthen, and celebrate women in the world throughout fashion. And I think that's
I love that.
And
I'm going right now to check that out, especially if they ship. That's awesome.
It's mainstreamboutique.com or Mainstream Boutique of Shawnee. We'll put all the links in our bio, but I have an exclusive for you guys. Are you ready?
What?
I talked to the owner today. For our listeners only, you get 10% off your full ticket items.
Oh my God.
All full priced items when you ring up, 10% off, whether it's online or in person. And if you go in person, tell them we said, hey, they said to use the code GAB for a discount code. And if you use our discount code, you get 10% off all full price items of your entire ticket. How cool is that?
That is amazing. I can't wait to go check it out.
Well, the next time you come visit me, we'll have to have a shopping spree.
I'm in.
GAB is your promo code.
Thank you for listening to Ghosts in the Attics, Bodies in the Basement, a Fearscape Media podcast. Music by Stephen Timperley. Artwork by Laura Ramsey. Find us online at fearscapemedia.com/GABB podcast, or on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at GABB podcast, or email us gabbpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you.